Hello, and thank you for joining us on Fightful Overbooked for this little Watching the Rivalry series. I don't know if it's really a series. We did one for Mercedes' debut. We're doing one here, but I would like to make it one because I'm a nerd and a square, and I like learning my wrestling history. When there's a rivalry that's on television, I like to go back and watch as much as I possibly can. So today we are going to review Samoa Joe and CM Punk the first time in Ring of Honor. It is available on YouTube under the ROH YouTube handle. The description of this, and there's a comment in the comment section, has the link to the actual first match. So please feel free to watch along with us. That's what watch-alongs are for. So looking very forward to diving into this. I've got a whole host of awesome people joining me today. I'm very excited about it. Normally, it's a little tricky. Normally, it's hard to kind of corral people, but a lot of people were excited to hop on this, and I'm really, really excited to introduce them to you all. But I will say, if you want to send in a super chat, like the wonderful Tom Talks Rubbish over here saying thank you all for being people. Enjoy the show. I'm definitely looking forward to reviewing this match. I'm looking forward to Collision tonight as well. And there's going to be a lot of callbacks in these matches if things go the way that they normally do with CM Punk matches and Samoa Joe. I'm very, very excited. But let's introduce this whole host of awesome people before we get started. You can pull up that link, and we're going to start at the 6:55-ish point if you do want to watch along. Everybody that's on stream is going to be starting at that point too. And just a reminder, if you're on stream, to keep it muted or low so that we don't get copyright strikes and a bunch of feedback. But we will start by introducing our awesome panel that is in the house. We've got Doc Mueller feigning like he's Eddie Kingston over here with his picture, but what a better guy to be this week. The New Japan Openweight champion is with us right now. Doc, how are you?
I'm doing great, and I'm really looking forward to watching this match back because I don't think I've actually seen it in a long time.
Yeah, I watched this trilogy back not too long ago. Once it went up on Honor Club, I was like, let me watch this back because I kind of figured where this was going, but there's a lot of juice and magic in it that I had forgotten about because I hadn't watched it for a really long time before that. So I'm excited that you're excited to dive in. Kaden, how you doing over there in this extremely, extremely hot climate?
I'm doing great. I am in a new setup that I don't ever use, so I don't know how this is going to go.
I am in a setup that is supposed to be like a temporary setup in hopes that my internet holds up. People are already talking shit about my Optimum, and I don't blame them. But I am hoping that in here maybe I have a little bit more luck than I did earlier today with the wonderful Greg Cherry, who we'll introduce next, who I got to join his show, and I will acknowledge nothing about his appearance. Greg, how are you today?
I'm doing well. It's actually really exciting because as much of a wrestling guy as I am, I'm very unfamiliar with Ring of Honor, and especially classic Ring of Honor. So this will be the first time I've seen this match. So
wow. Okay. That's awesome. I love that. I love that we have a first-time watcher on here. It's an hour, so buckle up. But completing our, what was the Circle Gets the Square show?
Hollywood Square?
Look like? There you go. There it is. Hollywood Squares is Jeremy Lambert Taylor's version. Jeremy, I didn't invite you to this. What are you doing here? Oh, beautiful. Got some Taylor merch.
Yeah, so all apologies to Val. Yes, we're good. We're on the same page. Yes, I mean, this was my headline for In the Weeds yesterday.
Same team.
Yeah, exactly. I just didn't change it. I'm not here to stay the whole time. I just saw everybody here and was wondering what. I don't know what goes on this channel. Kate just does things, and I find out about it like two minutes before. I'm like, sure, go for it. But I see a lot of familiar faces, and I just want to say hi. That's it. That's all I'm here for.
You're always welcome on our fun things. Jeremy does always manage to cater to my last minute decisions. This one I gave him like a whole 24 hours notice, which is like a record by like millions and millions of minutes for
really
normally
was.
It's like, hey, can you set up a stream that's already started? So
I just had to, clear, not clear, but I had to figure out the schedule of, we got to run MLW interviews because we did so many MLW interviews this week. Why does Chris Mueller never going to have a camera that
No.
works? Everybody
Never.
here has a nice camera. We see all of our beautiful faces. And then, I mean, nothing wrong with Eddie Kingston, but like, what are we doing here, Chris?
I feel like it's catfish. I feel like he's actually a different person than he claims to be. I feel like he's not even actually in IT at Bleacher Report.
You'd think he'd get his own stuff to work before.
Yeah.
Exactly. Maybe that's what it is. He's so selfless working on everybody else's. But we also have the wonderful Val and fellow Swiftie to Jeremy and his Swiftiness. Val, how are you today? I'm so glad you joined us.
I'm so glad I'm here too. And I think I might be the only human on the planet that has worse internet than you, Kate. So apologies in advance when I start turning into Valbot 3000. But I can't believe you're already leaving, Jeremy. I gave you the Arsenio Hall fist pump and everything when I saw you show up. But I'm super stoked to talk.
I appreciate it. No, I do have work to do. Willow Nightingale's out of the match tonight in case anybody missed that. She's injured. And she's not wrestling Athena. I'm sorry to come on here with like bad news on that, but I got to write. Ricardo Rodriguez is backstage at MLW. Evil Uno's on Twitter making a bunch of demands. He wants to be an EVP. These articles don't write themselves. Everybody, someone has to do this stuff. So I'm doing that. I just popped on to say hi. I specifically
ruin my day.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Blame Tony Khan. Tony Khan was the one who made this announcement.
I don't want to blame him. He's a very nice man, and also he loves Chicago enough to always give us really bitchin' shows. So I don't want to blame TK. He's really wonderful and super nice.
Tony Khan had an announcement? Get out of town.
It's not even on next Wednesday.
No.
If this show doesn't do like 600,000 viewers, get ready for that Collision announcement graphic on Dynamite. I'm sorry, people in the chat. I'm sorry that I had bad. All right, I'm gonna leave.
I'm wearing my Bird and the Bee when Willow and So Darling were tag teammates.
Heartbreaker.
It's very heartbreaking. Grapsody interviewed Athena trying to hype up this match, and now it's not happening. At least not tonight. It's supposed to happen on Rampage. So for people wondering, the match will still happen. All right, before I go, I do want to say hi to CM Punk Insider Dave from Pro Wrestling Podcast, because when we scheduled to have you on In the Weeds, you did join the show, but I had to run to be a superhero, and so I did not actually get to say hi to you. So now I'm saying hello, Dave. It is nice to finally see you on screen and say hello.
Well, at least you ended on a positive note, Jeremy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Anything sad to bring us all down with before you leave, or are you good?
CM Punk, Samoa Joe, LFG. I don't want to curse and get us demonetized in the first 10 minutes of this.
I totally swore.
All right. Well, we'll edit that. We'll edit that in post. Joe Pearl needs something to do around here.
Yeah.
So
he's not busy enough.
No, Joe Pearl doesn't do anything. Are you kidding me? All right. Bye, everybody, and have fun. Enjoy the match. Enjoy the stream. Jeremy. Enjoy the matches. I'm not speaking to you, Chris Mueller, without a face.
Hi, Jeremy.
Wow, this is
this
is non-face discrimination.
Mueller's version. Mary Swiftmas.
Mary Swiftmas. We've got a couple more people to introduce you to, and then we will get going with our stream. Excited to welcome some new blood onto the stream. We got Katie Kinsey, baby, in the house. Very excited to welcome you. Hi, Katie.
Hi, Kate. How are you?
I'm doing well. Happy CM Punk versus Samoa Joe Day.
Oh, I mean, what a good day. I mean, it's gonna be great.
Exactly. And we have Astrid here. I'm getting the pinwheel of death, but I don't know if she was able to successfully join the stream because my internet is crap. So if she is able to say hi. Oh, fantastic. Sorry, it's probably just me lagging as usual. But Astrid, how are you today?
Doing good. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm so excited to watch this match back, and we are going to go ahead and get started.
Let's get it.
We are at the 6:55 mark on the YouTube link that is in the comments and in the description here. So we can get ready to press play in 5, 4, 3, 2, play.
Now the question is, how many times are we going to be interrupted by YouTube ads?
That's a good question.
I have YouTube.
Oh, I already got one a little bit ago.
I have ad blocker, so I'm not going to get one.
Lucky.
Same, Drew. Same.
Well, stealing from the big corporations, Drew.
I know. It's.
That's how we
I
do it,
just
Drew.
cannot. I just cannot. Just cannot without ad blocker.
I believe it. So just for a little bit of context, we had this trilogy here for anybody who doesn't have a ton of context. I know Greg, who's on the stream, said that he wasn't a big ROH guy, so I'll walk you through kind of a little bit of what you're about to see, especially we have commentary muted here. Early Ring of Honor, arguably not the best commentary in the world either, so I don't know if we're losing like too much here, but this match took place on June 12th in 2004. Samoa Joe was a dominant champion already for 448 days. CM Punk was half of the Second City Saints, who were ROH Tag Team Champions. Ouch. Tag team partner was Colt Cabana on this. But kind of what you can expect from this match is CM Punk coming in with a plan. You have Blondie Punk with his gym shorts, classic patented ROH CM Punk, but you're going to see him go for a lot of headlocks. His whole strategy was very much about trying to wear Samoa Joe down. And it's important that this is established in the early going because it comes back a lot in the next two matches as well. But you will see Joe just doing what Joe does best, especially this younger version of Joe, using his size and his athleticism to his advantage. Just really, really, really hard hitting. But I won't spoil it. But I'll let you know that you're in for about an hour. So there's a lot that happens. We do get the iconic Ring of Honor handshake, kind of establishing Code of Honor stuff here. But this is a pretty cerebral match. It's more of kind of one of those chess game type matches. Punk just trying to inflict punishment and instill fatigue in this. The second one is really fun and my favorite in the trilogy because they go kind of to this place of what got them there. Like I always equate it to if you're a pitcher and you throw a fastball and the hitter fouls it off 12 times, you keep throwing it because they haven't proven they can hit it. That's kind of what that match was. They both came in with the same strategies. The fun thing about that was in Chicago and Steve Corino was not available for that match. That match wasn't even supposed to happen, how it happened and when it happened. So he kind of filled in at the last minute, but it was Punk in Chicago even then. And when they went back to that Joe kind of switched up the game plan a little bit later into it, which forced Punk to do the same. You get chain wrestling from CM Punk in that. This atmosphere that was so behind Punk, Joe was just like completely unfazed by. It was really, really, really fun match. You get some really nice sequences in there. I will tell you that one goes to a time limit draw, and Samoa Joe's hitting a muscle buster and coming down from it as time runs out, which was a pretty well-timed ending. We don't always get those well-timed. And then in the third one, you have Joe winning. He is a 688-day champion at that point, or 623-day champion at that point. But it's very different. You have Punk going for that same thing, trying to lock in those headlocks, trying to wear Joe down, trying to survive with what worked the first two times, but Joe just comes out in a flurry of offense. It's a lot of fun and a lot different than the first two. It's a massive sprint compared to the other two, but goes 31 minutes long. And Joe put the stipulation on that Punk can't challenge again for the title while Joe is champion. He would go on to get defeated by Austin Aries, and then Punk would defeat Austin Aries to win the title and go on to the first Summer of Punk that we had. Whoever is in the Fightful chat, I'm assuming that's still Jeremy. is plugging NordVPN. So if you want to block your ads and keep up with us on YouTube here, that is the case. I don't know if David is hiding out in the background because of his audio issues.
He
Or
said
if
his
he wants to be
audio
right
was
back.
bad. He might have to go. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
we'll see what happens.
I will
Different
say,
headphones, bro.
not the first Samoa Joe Ring of Honor match that I've watched. In his original run, I should say. Because I did watch a Four Corner Survival with him, Ebison, Delirious, and Jack Evans. So I have seen that match. And I love that match. It's one of my favorite comedy matches out there.
Dude, young Jack Evans was just so much fun to watch. That guy was nuts.
Big time.
I mean, all Jack Evans is so much fun to watch. In
True.
my opinion.
True. True.
There's a reason why Jack Evans sent from the heavens. You know what I mean? Because he's
Right.
fantastic.
Actually, fun fact, I'm friends with the guy who is the ring announcer for this match. His name is Jeff Gorman. Everybody should go follow him on Twitter. He's written a couple of books about wrestling. He's been around the business for a while. He did some stuff with Bleacher Report back in the day. So, yeah, everybody should go. He actually, he was
Typical
tweeting out
Doc,
a while
just name dropping. No, just kidding.
when they announced that, like when it became obvious that Punk versus Joe was going to happen in the Owen tournament, he was tweeting like, "Hey, Tony Khan, invite me out to do the ring announcing. It'll be historic."
I mean, as a ring announcer myself, I think it's crucial that ring announcers get moments like that. Like, it
Yeah.
really is important that people like Justin Roberts and Dasha, like get recognized for their contributions to what they do. I think, when a ring announcer or a commentator takes away from the momentum, it's very, very obvious. But when they add to something that's so magical, like events like this, it doesn't always get the nod. So I think it's very important that Jeff gets a nod. Just my opinion.
It's true. Ring announcers, commentators, like they add so much to the product. That's why people like Howard Finkel are still beloved in this business. And you got like, I remember when Punk brought him out for his special introduction during the Del Rio feud, when he was like, "You have your own ring announcer, so I have mine."
Not
And
mine.
Yep.
Yeah.
the pop for Finkel was so awesome.
And ROH
Like, that
has
was-
kept Bobby Cruz around too. Like, it is nice to see
Yeah.
some semblance of the old Ring of Honor and the new Ring of Honor. But back in Match World, we had some really, really, really hard hitting chops from Joe in the corner, which I think we've seen those coming back, right? As the Joe and Punk face off initially happened before we got to the Owen and those multi-man matches. And we have Punk just like surviving offense, headlock, surviving offense, headlock. It's a whole heck of a lot of fun.
You know what else is fun is this is pre-broken nose Joe. And I remember back then there was a lot of people that were like, if Elvis was just a little bit thicker, he'd be Samoa Joe.
It's kind of fun to see like that Samoa Joe has just literally never changed his gear. He's just like, I'm in multicolored gym shorts. Or like two-tone gym shorts, and that's what you're getting from me.
He had this really short period in Impact where he did something else. Like he had kind of like a thing connected to his shorts to sort of look more Samoan. I can't remember exactly.
Oh, I kind of remember that. Yeah.
They're a little bit more billowy now.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not as
He
like.
kind of has like the bike shorts underneath for like more support, and they're like a little billowy. I don't know. I like them. I like the way that they fit now, I guess I would say. Like as an athlete, like a little bit more movement, please. Like that's how I would feel. I mean, I always wore a skort. I played roller derby because it was like the control of the shorts, but then also the skort for more movement.
Heck yeah, girls know how important the shorts under the skirt situation is. Ryan with the super chat saying this is for Kate, Doc, Drew, Val, Greg, Katie, and Astrid. So just leaving Caden out of that, which I respect. I respect that a lot.
Be nice to Kaden. Be nice.
Nice arm.
I don't blame Ryan. I mean, I know Ryan had the character space on a $5 super chat to add that in, and purposefully chose not to. But I don't blame him.
He's committed to the bit, Respect it. Man, Joe, like he still has this thing, but when he's like circling up like wrestlers do when they're like taking a break and in these more chess game type matches, he's just so menacing. Like it's just like his posture, the look on his face, like he just looks like he's circling his prey as a predator every single time.
There's some wrestlers who are the most legitimately intimidating people. It's like him, Brody King, and Eddie Kingston. They just have that vibe about them. Like you do not want to mess with that person on the wrong day.
Yeah.
Yep. Like would cross the street.
I tweeted recently that my first Evolve show that I went to, Eddie Kingston was at, and he legitimately intimidated me. I was nervous as hell and didn't even approach him at all. It's like, okay, that guy seems a little bit more real than the rest of them, so I'm going to back off. I don't want to. I wish I did now, and I would now if I had the opportunity.
Sure. He's a menacing
he makes
dude,
it feel more real than anybody I've ever watched.
Ryan Cassidy, or Ryan Sullivan adding Orange Cassidy to the list of extremely menacing wrestlers.
Gosh darn it! I got an ad.
I got an ad too, but it was a skippable one.
Yeah, I got one that was skippable, one that was Oppenheimer.
Oh, do not skip. Do not skip.
It was a 5-second. I didn't skip Oppenheimer.
If you're watching along, we're at the 17:55 mark about.
Let me see what I'm at. Yeah, I'm at 17:48. Fine.
Test.
Good.
Oh my
Hey, David's audio is working. Mark Quill says this is for Kate, Doc, Kaden, Katie, Greg, and friends, and wanting to be an honorary Uso of everyone. You are, Mark Quill. You absolutely are. I don't know about putting Kaden third in the ranking, though, but we'll work on it.
My God.
I'm committed to the bit, Kaden. I'm committed to the bit.
You know, funny.
Nobody commits to a bit like Kate.
Thank you. I try.
I don't want to headbutt ever. Please, no one ever. Please headbutt me ever. Never, never, ever.
Nope.
Also, never.
Well, can't wait to headbutt you in 2 months.
Dead to me.
Joe with some boot washes in the corner. He's just everything he does is so impactful. And like young Samoa Joe, it's like, of course you kept the title on him for 680 days. Like he's such a viable champion of like, what do you do to beat this guy?
You don't.
Yeah.
You know, speaking of Joe being unbeatable, I forgot that he's held the Ring of Honor Television Championship for 15 months now.
Because he's never defending it on Ring of Honor.
I know.
Comes to Ring of Honor anymore.
He won it in
and then his feud with Mark Briscoe is just like gone. What's
So is this feud with Zack Sabre Jr.? So is this feud kind of with Kyle Fletcher that they kept hinting at of like, well, you know, Kyle Fletcher has 3 wins against TV champions. Nothing.
This ROH pay-per-view is not that far away. They better find a way to get Joe on the card.
Well, it's what, 14 days away?
Yeah.
Or 13. Yes,
Something
yesterday
like
was
that.
14.
They have one match announced and no other program set up except for Dark Order versus the Righteous.
Which is inconsistent with the Dynamite storytelling.
It's weird like that.
It's annoying like that if you're an ROH fan. God, Punk is going to so many headlocks. It's so much fun. In the second one, too, you see him go to all these headlocks, and then when Joe starts to switch up his game plan, he starts like attacking the neck, too, to just like try and make him more vulnerable, but
yeah, so Punk talked about that on commentary last week for the Roddy versus Joe match. He was talking about Roddy, you're seeing him hit the ropes and hitting these running strikes to kind of break him down like that and using the speed and using the cardio. And Punk talked about how every match he had against Joe, he tried to beat him with a headlock and just could not do it. It was not the right strategy.
I'm really excited to see like what resurfaces from that and what doesn't. Like if he goes for the headlock a bunch or he goes for it once and Samoa Joe just counters it brutally, like if they're almost like, are they going to add to the trilogy or are they going to like put a bow on it and do something different? I think it'll be fun. It's so funny seeing the purple ropes in ROH too. Oh my gosh.
Well, we know for sure neither of them will be grabbing hair this time.
That's true. That's a very good point.
I mean, there's got to be callbacks to this, right? You know, and
I'm sure
the easiest way to cut off somebody's air supply is with a headlock, and that's got to be probably his thought process was like, this guy's a monster. I got to cut off his air supply. Headlock, headlock, headlock. But didn't really work out in his favor.
I think the ultimate callback should be Punk dyeing his hair blonde again.
Yep.
If Punk shows up tonight with like blonde hair
and the fight shorts,
he doesn't have any hair right now to dye blonde.
You can still like
you can go the Eminem route.
There's enough. Dye the eyebrows blonde. You can do that.
But then he's got to come out to I ain't no glamour boy, I'm fierce, which is like a different In Living Color song than Personality. I think that they would be stoked, and it's a really good song, so why not?
SP3 in the house.
Hey.
Aww.
Hello, everyone.
Hiya.
How y'all doing?
SP3. I messaged SP3 and was like, hey, you want to do this? And he was like, this match changed my life. So yeah. So I'm glad he made it.
Heck yeah.
How'd this match change your life? Tell us.
Well, I was 16 at the time, and it was 2004, and WWE just wasn't doing it for me anymore. I was in high school. It was like, no one's really talking about wrestling like that. And then people like that I started talking to online started talking about Punk versus Joe. It was like, oh, you got to see it. They went 60 minutes. It was like, oh, it's like Ricky Steamboat versus Ric Flair, but it's a Punk dude and a Samoan dude going at it. so yeah, I started hearing about it. And then the second one happened, and people started saying, okay, you got to see both of these matches now. It's amazing. And then, yeah, that got me back into wrestling, got me back into like talking about wrestling online, got the IWC, which is the good, the bad, the ugly with that. But, but that was like my gateway to everything independent wrestling and really made my love of wrestling today.
God, that's so funny because I got into wrestling in 2009, and I didn't know there was a world outside of WWE really until the pipe bomb, when he was like, maybe I'll go back to New Japan, maybe I'll go back to Ring of Honor, and maybe I'll go back to Ring of Honor. I was like, what the hell's Ring of Honor? Like, I gotta go learn about this. And this trilogy, like, similar to what you're saying, but in a reverse engineered way, I was like, what is this, like, entirely different world of storytelling? And like, at that point, there were people from Ring of Honor that I remembered, like we saw in WWE, other than Punk, and that got me to check out New Japan and a whole lot of other things. It's so funny, like how formative a 12-minute promo was on me, because I definitely had one foot out the door. Definitely had one foot out the door, because it was just that whole era was like, I fell in love with heels. Like, I love bad guys. I was just like, they just keep losing to John Cena. I'm so bored. Like, how can I continue to watch this when it's the same outcome anytime? And so I wasn't watching for Stone Cold. So that was the first like work shooty promo that I was like, what the hell's happening? Like, it was crazy, like a crazy sensation to have as a wrestling fan. But
yeah, I didn't even fell out of love after the invasion. It was the time that SmackDown stopped having Brock Lesnar and the SmackDown 6. And they had JBL on top. And then over on Raw, you had, Evolution, the Reign of Terror going on with Triple H. And it's just like, yeah, this ain't fun anymore. So
Sure. Everybody always laughs because they're like, you got into it then? You should. That's what happened, was like, I started watching and I had friends that were like, you should watch from when it was like good. And I was like, oh, okay. But I just fell so in love with the idea of wrestling that even like medium ruthless aggression era, I was hooked.
It's so crazy because around this time period of this match, I was helping to start up a roller derby league here in Chicago called the Windy City Rollers, And at some of our earliest practices, we had wrestlers come and show us how to hit each other on the helmet. And I remember like trying to get my teammates to watch this match with me. And they were like, that has nothing to do with roller skating. And I was like, okay, I'll watch it by myself then. Yeah, I mean, so I was definitely not in high school. I was trying to destroy people on roller skates for, a living. Yeah, it was fun.
Ooh, and eye poke from the. I guess this wasn't so like heavily face versus heel in a way, but I would view Punk as the face kind of more in this.
In the modern era of wrestling, I'm most jealous of people who got to witness the pipe bomb live.
Yeah.
Like that's the moment that changed wrestling for millions of people. And I came into wrestling really after that, even after the Summer of Punk stuff. And right before Punk had turned heel in 2012, I came right after WrestleMania of that year. So, and I'm the same as you, Kate. I didn't know anything about New Japan, Ring of Honor, Impact, any of that stuff until the Best of Super Juniors of 2016 with Ricochet and Will Ospreay. When I saw that, it opened the world up to all new wrestling possibilities for me.
It is wild because you get so adjusted to a specific way that stories get told, and then you venture outside of that, and that's kind of when I was like, oh, this is like a full-on art form. Like there's completely different ways to do it.
You are 100% right, because the crowd experience, the difference between a WWE crowd and a New Japan crowd, seeing it for the first time,
was and just opposite ends of the spectrum too. Yeah.
Just these.
Hey, Katie, you're even more of a youngin' than us. Have you seen this match before?
No. So I actually turned 27 in 2 weeks.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna vomit.
I'm taking
you off the stream.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
My back
is
started hurting.
I hate on enough. Like we keep you here so that I can hate on you, Katie. All right, come on. That gimmick's been up for a while, but you turned well. Happy early birthday, first of all, and happy Samoa Joe and CM Punk watch along day.
Thank you. But no, I haven't seen this. The only thing I haven't really seen a lot of ROH. I have seen Joe in TNA from back in the day a few times.
Did you see the best triple threat of all time? Is that what you went back and watched?
Oh man, it was a watch along for the Apron Bump podcast, and we did a TNA watch along. Couldn't tell you which one it was. I completely forget. It's been like a year. But it was Samoa Joe like just turned on Christopher Daniels. It was like that time frame.
Oh, okay, yeah. That was just about it then, yeah.
Yeah, it was a hell of a pay-per-view, and like I don't really stray from anything WWE, AEW because I just don't have time. So going back and like watching stuff like this, so I'm
familiar with that challenge. I love. We just had Joe like sitting in a chair in the corner. They used to do that in Ring of Honor all the time, like the I'm sitting in a chair in the corner spots, but with his foot on Punk's head, and he's just those guys who are more intimidating when they're just making faces and the volume of their voices are lower. Like it's so much more menacing than people that are really loud sometimes, because it's just like it's no big deal to them how cruel they're being, and I love that with Joe. And it also makes when Joe has moments with like a sense of humor pop through, it's like almost given the same amount of gravity when he's delivering promos in that way, and I love that because it's just like it's all so believable with him. And about this point in the match, one thing I really liked when I was watching this last time was commentary was kind of saying like,
sorry.
At this point, this is when Joe's normally putting people away, like in this title reign. Like now he's getting a little more tired, and knowing that we're about halfway through this match makes that really fun. Of like, this is normally when Joe is wrapped up and going home now. I appreciated commentary alluding to that, and it was somewhere right around here, I believe, but. Knees in the corner. Whew.
that spot where Punk was gonna run at Joe and hit him, and then ran away as soon as Joe got back up. That popped me so hard. I forgot all about that. I hope we see that tonight.
Also, I just want to ask: am I the old guy in this room?
How old are you?
36.
No, you're not. I turn 40 next month, sir.
Okay.
Also, still funny.
Oh God! Wood floors on the outside. Punk just ate it. I forgot how brutal though, and more. Joe diving to the outside. I forgot these were like gym floors back in the day. Yeah. My God. Enjoy eating it on wood. Joe had some really nice European uppercuts in this match too.
The brilliance of the barricades barely being covered, which that's a lot of alliteration. I love that about Ring of Honor. Just like it's so. It
has like that gritty underground feel. Like this was such a lightning in a bottle moment. I feel like Black and Gold NXT captured that too, but it had $1 billion resource behind it. Like the fact that this just organically kind of sprung up was such a cool difference.
Yeah. It used to be a goal to get those seats to bang on the Ring of Honor to bang on that Ring of Honor banner. Like that was like a whole thing for fans that used to go back in those days.
I used to make sure I would wear a ring. I don't wear a ton of jewelry, but I would always make sure to wear rings so I can on the metal posts.
Clankety clank.
Yeah.
I got a skippable ad. Let's go.
I've gotten a few ads.
Oh. Great camera work if you guys just saw the spot I did.
Yeah.
It was like CM Punk went for an outside the ring head scissors and Joe countered him into a power bomb and the camera just looked like we were in the Blair Witch Project.
Yeah.
Damn Mission Impossible ad.
YouTube Premium.
Yeah, I've thought about it.
Well, they shove an ad for that in your face every 10 seconds, so.
Oof.
You just already pay for so many services. Paying for YouTube feels wrong.
I get it.
Yeah.
Well, there's Samoa Joe's giant leg going into CM Punk's face in the corner. Holy crap.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, when I first watching Samoa Joe, like the face wash moves terrified the crap out of me. That looks like it hurts more than like 95% of the moves that happen.
It's so when you watch the third one in the trilogy, it really kind of shows you how great Joe is, because this match is so methodical and paced differently. And then in that third one, because they weren't going for an hour, they're going for 30 minutes, which is still a long match. Him just coming out guns blazing, you were like, God, this guy can just do everything. Like, and what's so awesome to me about him is like all of it makes sense. Like all of it always makes sense. It's refreshing. Oh God.
Did you ever see that really early Samoa Joe match where he actually fought Mick Foley?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like even then you could tell Joe was special, and that was so early in his career.
It's crazy. He's the best. He really is. Like I keep going back to it. I watched it a couple times because I'm on this ZSJ kick. I'm through Techers though. I'm on to dancers now. I'm on to Daniel Garcia dancing. But the 19 match marathon that they did, I was so fatigued and I was so annoyed because we were heading into like another 6-show weekend. I was like, I can't believe I'm going to review 19 matches of Ring of Honor. And then review like 5 shows, and I did an interview on that Sunday. So I was like, this is show 1 of 7 in 3 days, and I can't believe this is what Tony Khan did to me. But it ended with that awesome tag match of Christopher Daniels and Seidel versus Samoa Joe and Zack Sabre Jr. And I just like couldn't get over how much Samoa Joe can make a story appear out of thin air. Like it's just unreal. Like that was so like cheeky and funny in the way that they set up like this TV title holder, anything you can do, I can do better story that they were telling. But like he just knows how to use everything that he does really well. He just told this incredible story that was like this one-upmanships with DSJ, and then he'd been in the ring with Christopher Daniels like 100 million times, and there were all these callbacks to their previous matches, and he had some fun stuff with Seidel in there, but I was like, God, it was barely an angle, and then within 2 weeks, I was like, he just told stories with, there's 4 people in the ring, and he's one of them, and he's told stories with the other 3, just like to such an incredible extent, and it was his ability to be like really funny and merge violence like we're seeing now. He's just beating the hell out of CM Punk in the corner. Jesus.
That Uranagi like, he just hit was nuts.
Oh.
My God. The kiss to
it
the
just
camera.
makes me like swoon.
No, it does.
Kate, if you're keen on dancers, I implore you to check out GCW from Tampa 2021. Real Hot Girl, Faye Jackson's gray sweatpants battle royale.
I do recall pleasantly having.
So do I.
Daniel Garcia.
Daniel Garcia's Magic Mike moment.
My God.
And also give it up for Jazz. I couldn't believe I got to ring announce for Jazz. I definitely had a Lady Mark moment in the back because I basically called everyone from the back, and I plotzed when I got to say her name as the final entrant. Definitely plotzed.
God, Joe's submissions just look so painful in this.
Oh, yeah, they added Julia Hart tonight.
Is she
against
facing Athena?
I think they're just doing a Julia match.
Oh, okay.
Because I think, yeah, they moved Athena to Willow. So probably just like a squash for Julia.
I was going to say, if it's Julia versus Athena, that's going to be 8 seconds long, and Julia's going to die.
Which I would hate that, too, because of everything they're doing with Julia right now has been so great.
Yes.
They've only announced that she will be in action.
Yeah.
I
love her transformation, though.
Anybody headbutt anybody knowing what we know. Her transformation is incredible. I feel like she played both sides of it so perfectly. Like the cheerleader side of it was so great, and then Twisted Dark.
It was good timing of it too with the change. I really love that about her.
Yes, agreed.
God, the entrance they've given her is so cool too. Like she legitimately has one of my favorite entrances in AEW right now.
You got to see it live.
Yes.
That whole House of Black entrance live is bananas.
Yes.
It's incredible.
It's wild.
Life-changing.
Oh.
You got another
that RC Cola tattoo.
Yeah, it's almost for the Haunted Mansion.
Might have been skippable at least.
I've only those ones were only 5 seconds. It's not too bad.
I don't know what the ad I just skipped was for, but I think I saw Jason Momoa on a pirate ship.
Oh, sweet.
Is this a Taco Bell fever dream or a real thing?
That was a real thing. I think it was either Jason Momoa or another bearded, long-haired, muscly man.
Was it Roman?
It was not, no, it was not.
I was just gonna say.
Tamatonga.
What's he doing with this submission move?
Yeah, this looks nasty. Whatever, a knee is in a compromised position and there's extra leverage in the spot. Ooh.
Punk having so much trouble getting the Indian Deathlock in.
I know.
I feel bad for him.
Come on, man.
Great.
I would be too. Look, you're 40 minutes into this match or whatever. Yikes. Thanks to everybody who's watching along. We've picked up a good number of people since we started, so I just wanted to remind you, if you want to get your question or statement read on air, feel free to send it a super chat. 3 ways you can support us by leaving a thumbs up on this video helps us tremendously. You wouldn't believe what that does for the algorithm. And Overbooked is a young and growing channel, so please subscribe if you don't mind doing so. Trying to get our numbers up, our content. It definitely enables us to create another home for cool creators outside of the Fightful main channel that is so very post-show heavy. You get a lot of fun stuff like this, off the beaten path stuff. I did not remember this many headbutts being in this match because it makes me cringe every time I see one. Ooh.
Oh, it's an old trope. Don't headbutt a Samoan.
Very fair.
It's one to live by, words to live by.
You know,
The chat saying SP3 is being too quiet.
I'm just there's a lot of people on screen. I'm letting everybody get their stuff
the same
in.
way I feel too. I don't know what to say.
I'll shut up for a little bit. I talk a lot.
No.
Because I'm just like enjoying the match.
It is one of those things that happened with the Mercedes match. I was so glad we had Alba on here to talk about it because I was just watching it.
I'd probably be useless too watching the Mercedes match. So, like, I'd just be watching it. I wouldn't add anything.
I've really wanted to go back and watch her NXT stuff again because all that whole run with the women in NXT during that period was so good.
Best heel in wrestling, Mercedes. I don't have energy past like my work day. I cannot believe the pace that these guys have maintained through this match.
I'd be strapped to oxygen by this.
Yeah. Oh, to be young.
To be young, and then we watch Dustin Rhodes doing sentons off the apron.
No.
It's like, okay, so I just feel bad now.
You said Dustin Rhodes. I was gonna say PCO. PCO be putting his body on the line.
And both of them.
He got lit on fire though, so how did that work out for him?
Hey, he did it legit.
Let's not forget
that,
about
Bray
Ultra
Wyatt.
Worker. We got Jeff Jarrett putting his body on the line on Rampage.
All right,
too.
enough with it. Oh, his body or his guitar collection?
His body.
Get out of here.
My God, did it not look like he was running in molasses during that match with when he was with Hardy? Like, who was it who was like leapfrogging over him? It was Sammy, I think. He like barely made it over him because Jeff moved so slow getting underneath him. It was so hard to watch. And Jeff's normally not that slow, so I was wondering if maybe he just wasn't feeling good or something.
Maybe it's because he's on TV too much.
Could be.
Yep. That's what it is.
Could be it. That could be it.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
I agree.
For those who know, did CM Punk ever win any of these matches?
No,
that's
so
the whole gimmick. That's the whole
spoiler
thing.
alert if you don't want to know. But there's 2 time limit draws and then Samoa Joe wins. In the third one. But honestly, this was 2004, so if you're like trying to avoid spoilers, I don't know what to tell you. It's like 20 years ago.
Right, there's a threshold there.
So what does everybody think happens tonight? You think Punk gets the win back?
Oh yeah.
To redeem himself, the Redeemer win.
Yeah.
I would love
That's
that.
the most likely, but I think that it should be Joe winning, so you can do it on a bigger stage.
I think you want Punk and Starks in the finals so that you can get some idea around whatever CMFTR is going to be. But I wouldn't be surprised if Joe in some way factors into that final decision. But I don't know. I feel like Starks is either going to turn on Punk or Punk is going to turn on Starks. I don't think it'll be a respectful moment.
If that's
I'm okay
what's
with
gonna
either
happen,
of
it's
those.
Punk.
And it shouldn't
I'm
be a
ready for
respectful
it.
moment.
Yeah, I feel like it should be Punk too, especially with the reactions he's getting and the way he's been playing into it. It feels like it's heading that way, but I was also like, you could just get to Ricky turning heel and having a clean CMFTR trio run, as opposed to this like multi-man thing. But I'll always prefer Punk as a heel. He's just, when he's the bad guy, he's the best bad guy in the biz, and when he's a face, I think he's a really great face. But man, is he? For me, he'll just always be the most compelling heel on television when he's heel.
I also feel like he's so hateable right now.
Yep.
Yeah. Lean into it.
And he's not at all relatable right now, which is like crucial. You know what I mean?
Well, when I was at Forbidden Door and Collision, like he wasn't in the match and he was doing push-ups on the outside of the ring. Like the guy was having so much fun. So much fun healing.
I want that on a t-shirt. Hateable and not relatable. That's just,
there you go.
I would buy that shirt.
Give me a microphone. That's what I do.
That's why his return promo works as if it's a heel promo, because he's talking about being this anti-authority figure that he's always been, and he's saying that David Zaslav is his best friend. Like, those don't line up, man.
Yeah.
David Zaslav is one of the most hated people in America right now.
Exactly.
Like, you can't name drop him and say that he loves you and then be a face.
Yeah.
I think there is something in the, like, when you have a great kind of like tweener, it's rare to get one that's great. And so if they wanted to keep him face, I get it, because there's very few times you can capitalize on that. But he's going to be a heel everywhere outside of Chicago, it feels like. And even David, you were saying that like in Chicago, it was a pretty mixed reaction, right?
There was some booze there, yeah.
I mean, but there's going to be some booze there. Like, people want to boycott Mindy's because he was eating muffins there.
That's awesome.
Like, and I just had Mindy's today, and Mindy's is delicious. Do not boycott. In fact, try it out. It's fantastic. They are fantastic humans that make fantastic baked goods.
I need to send you a text about
not an ad read.
Val. I have a request. I need to send you.
No, it's not an ad, but they're fantastic. I just had some today.
If you want to sponsor on Fightful Overbooked, though, you can DM me or email me at kate@ondeckic.com. I love how much in this Joe, it was a little bit ago, but like every time the headlock gets locked in, it's impacting him more and more and more as the match goes on. Like it's starting to get to him more and more and more. He's so good at like selling deeper and then selling it deeper.
Cutting that oxygen supply, Kate. That's what's up.
They are absolutely.
What do you have against air supply? They're perfectly suitable in the 80s.
Kate, I am so lost in love. I'm so lost without you. Yes.
I don't want to sing it. We'll get copyright strikes and people muting the stream.
Lyric.
Oh, ow. To this.
Oh.
Yeah.
I think that looks like a fairly nice stretch. That's very considerate of Samoan Joseph.
Yeah, he's basically sitting on him and pulling his legs back. Like, that's not a crab. That's just pain.
Pretty much.
It's Punk breaking the hold there.
I love
For any of you who are joining a little bit later, I'm at least the 49:35 mark. The link, if you do want to watch along, is both in the description and at the top of the comment section for this.
Samoan Joseph popped me. That was funny.
And Sheppy Zach. That was great.
I love that there was an actual MMA fighter who won a match with a Boston Crab like last year or the year before. Do you guys remember that?
Yeah.
That clip was going around everywhere. I popped so hard for that.
Like, wrestling is a part of MMA. People forget that. Like, it's an important part. It's a part of the mixed part of martial arts. Boston Crabs are a wildly painful thing, especially if you've injured your leg and are put in a Boston Crab. Of course you're tapping out. It's impossible. Because you can just sit. If you're the person in control of the Boston Crab, you can sit there all day until they tap.
Mm-hmm. I would like to quickly point out that since nobody said it yet, tonight's Collision, Punk versus Joe 4, is from Regina, Saskatchewan.
There you go.
Ha 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 ha.
Did you do that to pop yourself, Caden?
Oh yeah, for sure. I did that to pop myself.
Oh, what is
really
doing?
nice sell on the elbow there. Corner spot with Punk elbowing Joe to the ground and Joe just falling really, really hard on that. I've always liked, actually with both of these guys, but I've always really liked Punk selling. I feel like it was an underrated aspect of his wrestling. I'm someone that, as much as I love a Dolph Ziggler or a Shawn Michaels, the proportionate sell is like my wheelhouse.
Yeah, it doesn't always need to be a wide eye, like, it doesn't always need to be I cannot believe it,
It's funny that you said that because I noticed his selling the most in that match that he had with John Cena on Raw that had the pile driver in it.
Oh, so good.
That was the first match that I saw with him and went, wow, he is an excellent seller.
He really is. Like if that's the type of sell you like, he's great at it. And that's kind of normally my wheelhouse. I say that, but like a MJF wide-eyed ridiculous kick out also is is something I appreciate.
I feel like Punk sells a struggle very well. Like, especially when he does these longer matches, he makes it feel like it's a war of attrition.
Yeah.
100%.
Good call.
Yeah, they really just beat the hell out of each other for an hour. Still going, but
A little bit
it's
left.
kind of fun. Like there's not a ton of spots where it's been like one guy is in control for a really long time. Like there's times where it feels like Joe's been in control just because of his size and speed, but it's not like nobody's really dominating for stretches of this match considering how long it is. If you haven't seen the trilogy, match 2 is my favorite. I would encourage you to watch it at some point if you do have Honor Club or you can't find a bootleg version.
Wow.
CO chiming in saying Saturday grilling during the watch along. Appreciate you all painting the picture of Charles Montgomery Punk and Samoan Joseph for us. Love you all. Well, thank you, CO. We love you too. Nice armbar here from Joe.
I can't stop looking at if anybody sees it at ringside to the right of the ring, there's like a 2000s Dax Harwood.
Yeah.
Yep. You're not wrong.
Can't stop looking at this guy. I see him again.
FTROH.
That's right.
Would have been great if there was a Dax-looking guy right next to him.
There's a guy next to him that looks like Cash. Like he looks like Cash.
Oh, Cash.
my
That's what I
God.
meant, yeah.
Behind him.
Yeah, this guy right next to
a
him
little
that
bit
looks like
to the
Cash.
left, right?
Yeah, to the left of him
Just
looks like
behind him to the
Cash.
left.
He does have a little bit, yeah.
Like he bigger
Oh,
than Cash, but he still kind of looks like Cash.
And he has like a smidge of disdain, so it's perfect.
Oh yeah, it's amazing. It's perfect. They both look a little upset.
Oh, that was an awesome powerbomb reversal.
Damn.
Man, so many of these people have just been on their feet for the entire match. I love when that happens.
Me too.
That's how it was for the 1 hour draw between Hangman and Danielson. I felt like we were all like just on our feet for the whole hour.
That was one of my favorite hour-long matches ever. And then Danielson did it again with MJF like 3 months later. Just like, God.
You guys get those. The hour-long match I get to see is Cena.
If you ever want a good hour-long match to watch, the John Cena versus Shawn Michaels match, phenomenal. And that wasn't even originally planned. The only reason that happened was because Randy Orton couldn't make it to the show in time to do his match. And they just had Cena and Michaels fill the rest of the show.
I can't imagine doing an hour match in general, never mind one you weren't prepared to do. That's crazy.
Right.
Oh, God.
Oh, that was cool.
Joe is just so buyable in everything he does.
I also love the levels of frustration he shows throughout the match. Like, you can see him getting more and more upset each time he can't put Punk away.
It's one of my favorite in-ring things about him. It's just like he always gets frustrated, but he never gets frustrated and out of control in the cartoonish way that a lot of wrestlers do. He's always like frustrated, but then is like, okay, I'll try this or whatever. It's never like a, oh my God, dramatic thing.
Like the way Roman got frustrated when the Usos both kicked out. Like, that's great storytelling, but you won't see Joe doing that.
Yeah.
Because his character, it wouldn't make sense for his character.
Yeah.
Too tactical. I can't stop looking at
I feel like he seems more
young Dax.
irritated than annoyed.
Yeah, it's like equal parts being annoyed at the opponent and himself. That's what I always viewed it as he's like, what didn't I do to put this guy away?
Right.
This is how I know I'll never be a commentator, because I'll just go, ooh, or damn.
I'll get you hired in WWE. It's like a requirement for commentary.
You can do that as a commentator. You
The whole
can,
time?
as long as you also say other stuff.
Exactly.
Oh, maybe not the whole time.
J-Lo, you're beautiful. Get off my screen.
Yeah. Fun little story.
Why is J-Lo on your screen?
Ad. I got an ad.
Oh, Pepsi Twist.
Fun little story. Like, I went to a baseball tournament one time, and they had somebody doing commentary over the PA system. And every pitch that looked relatively fast, all the commentator said was, ooh. Nothing after that.
In baseball, especially, of all things.
Yeah.
Oh, look at this roll.
Fun little
that's
story.
awesome.
This is so great. When we did the charity softball game, AEW versus Pro Wrestling Tees, the commentator overhead said, up next, Sir Pentico. And everyone just looked at me like, why aren't you on the PA, Val? And I was like, because I'm playing catcher.
There you go. That's it.
Sir
Like
Pentico.
he was royal, like he was a sir.
Correct. He was a royal serpent. He was a royal Pentico.
Royal Snake Man.
The royalist of snake men, yes, correct.
Oh.
Dang.
Ooh, wow. What a clothesline.
Lariat.
Or lariat.
Oh, gee.
I always say clothesline when it's a lariat.
It's not the first
I
time.
cannot be a commentator.
Why not?
If you know Ruthless Lala, do not call it a clothesline.
I only did that because of the lariat story. Because it was those two guys in that interview.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you the difference between a lariat and a clothesline. I think a clothesline is a specific type of lariat or vice versa. I always get confused.
My favorite thing is RJ City when he described it on AEW. He was like, a lariat is a clothesline you have to apologize for.
Oh, I cannot wait to see the AEW with MJF.
Oh my God,
tomorrow.
I'm so looking forward to that.
Oh my God.
It's
That's tomorrow
gonna be
morning,
amazing.
right?
Yeah.
Sunday morning.
It's gonna be amazing.
I think my favorite one so far is the referee one where he just goes, so Aubrey Edwards, you're bisexual?
Yeah. The way she popped at that was so great too.
I don't know. The Sheeta one was up there. Oh my gosh.
I mean, Eddie Kingston's still takes the cake for me because there's just so many moments from that make me laugh. I'm so happy they're doing more with RJ and AEW too. Like him and Renee together is such a great combination.
There's so many near falls. I'm watching it with the knowledge that this is an hour-long match, right? There's so many near falls in this that are so viable. Like I would have bit at that huge running knee, I think it was, that we just got.
And that was the thing with Joe's reign. Joe's reign was a lot like Gunther, where you never knew how he was going to end it. He could end it with the lariat, he could end it with the Kikita clutch, the muscle buster, or he could just knock somebody out.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what I love with
Aw.
shot to the balls.
Oh, I have not seen.
And you're to blame.
Oh,
Shot to the balls. Belongs to.
Thank you, Kate.
Who sings that?
Ugh, Bon Jovi.
Kate sings it.
I do.
Oh.
No, Bon Jovi does.
Ooh, Scorpio
And-
Sky and Action Andretti tonight. Should be interesting.
Yeah, I'm intrigued to
He's
see what happens with
Scorpio.
Sky.
Finally getting on TV after 3 weeks of Collision.
Yeah, there's a few that we've yet to see. I hope Rose is cleared soon. I think 6 weeks, they said.
6 to 8 weeks for another checkup, I think is what Doc said.
Well, Doc's right on the stream. We can just
Yeah, I
ask
didn't
him.
So what do you say, Doc?
Sorry, wrong Doc.
Unconfirmed.
Oh, I just saw the nut tap.
Ooh.
Do we see a Pepsi plunge tonight? That's a good question.
He's used it only once since returning, right?
yeah.
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh no.
rough on the knees, but
Yeah.
Was it the Max match?
Yeah.
mm-hmm.
Was it the Dynamite?
The
That
Chicago
was the Dynamite.
was
It
the
was the
first
Dynamite
time
one.
he used it in AEW.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, it was the one in Chicago.
Ba-ba-da-ba. Question for you guys. How do we feel about Nickelback?
I will remove you from the stream, David.
I love you,
Okay.
Kate, forever and a day.
Forget that question. I'll just keep watching the match.
We are
It's a
not
very
all
inclusive environment, except for Nickelback fans. 5 votes for everyone except Nickelback fans. I need to amend my statement when I say that on there. Terrible.
I love Canada, except for Nickelback.
Thank you. See?
I don't remember their name, but I know of a heel a while back in an indie promotion around here in New York that used "Saving Me" as a as their entrance theme just to get the heat, the extra heat of Nickelback.
Murder.
I don't remember who it was.
idea.
But I don't remember the name.
Fired.
Oh, Punk just called a spot. Oh,
I don't know why, but the South Park bit just popped into my head when they're like, no, the Canadian government has apologized for Bryan Adams on several occasions.
Oh man, this match is so good.
Yeah.
It's so well paced for an hour-long match. Like, it does not feel like we've been watching this for
It
almost
doesn't,
an hour.
you're right.
already.
Really doesn't.
And there are 10-minute matches that make me go like, when is this gonna be over? So
Right.
for them to be able to keep the attention that long is so impressive.
Man, I need to watch more Ring of Honor.
watch
I've
the old
started
stuff
going-
because right now it stinks.
Yeah, it does. I've been going through and watching a lot of old Ring of Honor. Like I tweeted the other day, I saw Danielson and Mara Fuji, which was a banger.
Oh, so good. I watched that match the other day too.
I need to find out how to watch. SP3 recommended Danielson and Styles from 2003, I think was the year, and I cannot find that on Honor Club, so I might have to buy a tape.
I
Tape
think
trading. Tape trading.
There you go.
I think I have
You're
it.
out my age from that
I'm not
one.
going to say how I have it, but I think I have it.
Okay.
I also have a bunch of old ECW matches with the original music. If anybody wants them, DM me.
Kate's just gonna be selling links to a Dropbox folder
Yeah.
with all this bootleg content.
password protected.
That's right.
I can't go more than like 2 episodes of ECW on Peacock.
Oof.
Like
Yeah.
it's so devoid of what ECW was. It's not the same.
100%. It's horrendous. I cannot watch it. Like, as somebody who saw ECW live often, like, no. It's boo earns for days.
Especially when they go to the New Jack and they got the takeoff 187. I was like, no, this ain't for me. This ain't for me.
Yeah. Thank you, SP3. Much agreed, friend. Much agreed.
I love telling ECW people that WWE ECW is the real ECW. It's like my favorite thing to do. We are in the
Spicy.
closing moments of this match.
Whenever I tell people that Ezekiel Jackson is my favorite ECW champion, they flip out. It's great.
Why did I get a Mission Impossible ad with like 5 minutes to go?
Man.
They really want you to watch Tom Cruise almost kill himself again.
It's funny because
Scientology rules. No.
Right before this stream, I was watching Mission Impossible 3 too. They knew.
They knew.
They knew that I almost bought tickets to that movie like 20 minutes ago.
It's so incredible how well they're communicating, being so beleaguered and just washed, but like the in-ring has not suffered. Like they were both running ropes a minute ago, like corner spots. Like Punk is not a big dude and he's suplexing Samoa Joe like 58 minutes into a match. It's like them selling how exhausted they are, but maintaining the in-ring pace in this is just, it's art, man.
Hey,
my
Kate.
God.
But this is also both of them in like prime condition, prime shape, with not a ton of ring years to devoid them of their cartilage and you know what I mean, things like that.
Yeah,
this is them killing it, without killing themselves for many years prior.
Yep, bump cards were emptier back then, so
Hey,
I've reached the
high.
end of the match.
This is over.
And people have to appreciate, like, this is 2004, guys. This is not 2023. This is 2024, and they did 60 minutes, and like we're all saying, it didn't even feel like 60 minutes at all.
Yep.
It was fantastic.
No, 60 minutes for a crowd that is like so rabid for it, I think is definitely something that matters. But like the way they structured the match just really made it go by so fast. Beautiful belts too that Joe's got.
Kate, I also want to say, like, you called it art earlier. There's another word that I'd use for it. I think this match was cinema.
I think it's definitely cinnamon.
Kate,
Big
by the
red.
way, your wife says hi.
Oh, tell her I say hey. The amount of people that congratulated me on my extremely real engagement, sorry.
It's crazy. I'm looking around the crowd, not a phone in sight.
I know.
No,
Well, yeah, you couldn't film anything on a Nokia 5100.
What phones were out at this time?
It's so funny. I had a conversation with the announcer for the Baltimore Orioles. He was the announcer when Cal Ripken broke his streak. We got Homicide with a run-in, taking out Joe.
That is Homicide.
Baby Homicide with John Cena level jorts. Spitting in his face. Damn.
Love it.
Wow. This was Joe's main feud of his reign, was with Homicide.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, now that's a fucking ref bump. Let's go. Yeah. But I was talking to the announcer from that, and he was saying it was just crazy because you had you didn't have social media, so nobody knew, like, it wasn't announced in advance or anything that Cal Ripken chose to sit out that day. So it just happened in real time. Like, nobody went to the ballpark knowing ahead of time it was Cal Ripken's last game. Like, it was just an ordinary day until that happened. And that's kind of like this. It's like, not only did they keep the crowd for an hour, but they kept an undistracted crowd for an hour is a really good point.
Yeah.
Homicide taking the title and beating the hell out of ring announcers and referees. And
Throwing everything.
The table.
So good.
Throwing chairs. Great.
But I think that's part of the reason why, like, some people watch shows differently is because they grew up with phones in their hand, and some of us did not. So like when I'm actually a Lady Mark ringside or wherever I'm at a show, I don't really take my phone out like ever. I just live in the moment.
Either.
I don't take pictures. I just don't. And that's not a bad thing or a good thing if you do or don't, but this is how I watch shows because this is how I grew up watching shows. You know what I mean? Like,
Same.
Yeah,
but
and I
for
feel
people that grew up, I mean, sometimes I'll take my phone out to check stats and like be like, oh, how much does Willow Nightingale face his opponent? Because I want to know that, and then I'll put it away. You know? But even then, sometimes I don't even do that because I can always check that later. Or I am a dork and I carry a little notepad and I'll make a note to myself because announcer dweeb, right? So I'll check that later.
You know, diligent and good at their job is another way to frame that, I would say.
Thanks, Kate. I heart you too. But yeah, I mean, I implore everyone that is tuning in to try watching a show without your phone. You don't need to capture that moment on your phone. Like, I know it's an experience, but like experience a moment so you can capture these moments with your memories, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know.
And there's so many nuances that you don't want to miss too.
It's also
there is a post-match promo on the back of this from Punk, by the way. He's got the microphone, just so you guys know. They did not set up the second one here. That second one, if I alluded to earlier, kind of happened last minute and somewhat by accident. So,
Yeah.
Also, to your point, Val, like all the stuff today that people are going to see, it's going to be everywhere. It's going to be all over YouTube. There's going to be pictures everywhere. So like, I don't need a picture that I took to enjoy that memory if there's a much better, higher quality picture from a ringside photographer that I can look at, you know?
Listen, I don't know which one of you jokers this is. I'm assuming Joel Pearl. Maybe Sean, maybe Jeremy.
Sounds like
but the
Sean.
reason is because people like watching incredible matches like this and talking about them.
Yes.
Like Joseph Boza, who said this nice thing.
Oh.
Thank you, Joseph.
Aw.
I appreciate you. I wasn't going to pull this up, but then when whoever's on the Fightful Overbook channel got snarky, I'm going to put myself over. But I'm going to instead let our awesome panel here talk about what they have coming up and plug their stuff. I really, really appreciate you guys being here. We get the code of honor here at the end. We get Joe and CM Punk shaking hands and hugging. This is a really fun piece of this because the beginning of this is very much a respect thing. And then I feel like in the third one, Joe's antics, he becomes a little bit more desperate to hold on to that title. So you get a little bit more heat there. Definitely would recommend watching the whole trilogy if you can. I don't know if you can find matches 2 and 3 without Honor Club, but really, 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 really awesome stuff. But let's go around and we can have everybody plug their stuff. I'm going to go in reverse order since we started with Doc last time, but we'll start with SP3 because he joined a little bit late. He loved this match. This changed the entire shape of his fandom. SP3 is a busy guy. We run very similar schedules. He's here on Fightful. He's got true heel heat stuff going on all the time. One of the most active wrestling channels you can find, but I'll let him tell you about it. SP3, what you got going on?
Thank you, Kate, and thank you for having me here. Love being on screen with everyone here, some of the great people in this whole wrestling media game, in this whole wrestling community. That's why you need to subscribe to Fightful Overbooked. And I am here every Tuesday with FMC, which is not about wrestling, on a wrestling channel. That's the great content that I provide to the channel. This stuff is not about wrestling because I need a break from that. But yes, we talk about the NBA. We talk about trash reality. Check it out, FMC, 8:30 a.m. Eastern time. And check out the True Hill Heat YouTube channel. That is TRU, no E. We got content about 6-7 days a week. I'll be live tomorrow at 12:05 p.m. Eastern time to review tonight's AEW Collision and let you know how happy or sad I am about Joe versus Punk. If it's as great as it was 19 years ago, I'm going to be happy. If it's not, I'm going to be a sad boy. So watch me tomorrow at 12:05.
Absolutely. Check out SP3 and all of his great content. the whole True Heel Heat gang really does a fantastic job. There's always content to check out there. Really, really fun stuff. And whenever I'm like, somebody give me X matches to watch, SP3 is always like, in my replies, like, I got you. Go back and watch these 7 matches with Billy Robinson or whoever the hell I asked for last time. But we also thank CM Punk's bestie for being here and Nickelback stand for some reason, which I refuse to accept. But Dave from the Pro Wrestling Podcast, sporting his Chicago gear today. We've gotten to have you on in the weeds before. You were talking about the live experience in Chicago, but plug your own stuff. Tell the people where we can find you.
Well, you guys can find me primarily on IG at the Pro Wrestling Podcast. I also have a YouTube channel. I currently do live streams where I'll do AEW Dynamite and SmackDown and Rampage with the Ramble Mania guys. And I am working on a video right now where I asked you guys on Twitter what your favorite WrestleMania matches are, and then I'll watch them, and then I'll do a tier list on them. You know, it's a whole video. I'm going to be editing it. So, yeah, stay tuned for that.
Hell yeah. We moved to a fellow Chicagoan in Val. Taylor's version. You have a lot going on in and out of the industry. Where can people find you?
Well, on the Twitters at Val Capone, on the Instagram at Valphonse, VALPHONSE. And I'll be a guest on right here on Fightful Overbooked on Indeed with with Reg and
talk
Mike.
about cinema with Righteous Reg. I love it.
Yeah.
I'm so stoked. Righteous Reg and Mike. We're gonna talk about some indie wrestling and the fact that I get to do a lot of talking into microphones about wrestling. It's weird. That's me living the dream. It's unreal. And also, I'm going to be doing some that for Boca Raton Wrestling, Championship Wrestling in 2 weeks. Wow. Jeez Louise. Yeah. Coming up on July 19th, it's Boca versus the World. We're going to be taking on NWA.
Wow.
So it's going to be interesting. Yeah. It's going to kind of surreal. My brain is glitching like whoa because I've watched so much wrestling today, so I do apologize. But
Welcome
I'm very excited.
to my brain every single day of the week.
Yeah. So today was a wonderful day, and thanks for letting me hang out with all you fabulous people here. It's been such a damn blast. Like, I just love talking wrestling, and I love Samoa and Joseph.
How can't you? How can't
and Charles
you?
Montgomery Punkster.
Charles Montgomery, Cookie Monster, Charles Monster, whatever you want to call him.
Chick Magnet Punk.
Magnet Plunker.
I love any dude that gives me ice cream. I mean, let's be real.
That's a very fair point.
I'm hoping to, if all things go well, I'm hoping to attend a wrestling summit in the Holy Land as a Jewish woman. The week of Israel, the week of Rosh Hashanah. So
the week
we'll see.
of Israel? Love that.
The week
for
of
you.
Israel. Yeah, the week of Rosh Hashanah in Israel. There's going to be a wrestling summit in Israel. I'm super stoked. We'll see if all things go well.
I know that Joel is trying to con Fightful into paying for him to go as well, so we will see if he is successful. But Drew, what you got going on?
You can follow me on Twitter and Blue Sky, if you have Blue Sky. You're one of the few lucky people to get an invite for that. At Big Money Drew. Yes, Blue Sky and Twitter at Big Money Drew. And I will be on the main Fightful channel, not on screen, but modding and collecting super chats and humper chats for the post-collision show. And then I do my own show with who I saw in the chat earlier, JPJ, for Love Wrestling, formerly AEW, on Sunday mornings at 10 a.m., where we talk about the week of AEW, any news and exciting stuff that happened on the shows, on twitch.tv/lovewrestlingca. Thank you very much for having me.
You're very welcome. Thank you so much for joining them. We love the Love Wrestling guys. So great. JPJ is great. And Miss Katie, who's at show I was just recently on, loved the experience of hopping onto your channel. You've got a lot going on and a lot coming up. Tell the good people where we can find you.
Yeah, so you can follow me on Twitter. It's Katie Rasslin13, WRASSLINOG. I am the host of the Sheely Showcase. It is a podcast with me and my female co-host. We talk about the week of wrestling. I do interviews. I've mainly been interviewing other wrestling podcasters just to get their experiences, just to make it a little different. And like Kate said, I just did a top 5 women's champions from the 2000s till now panel with her, Haley, Kylie, also from Fightful, and Kat and Daphne. It was fantastic. They all killed it. The fact that they had to narrow that down was incredible. But that video is up on the channel if you want to go check that out. I do plan on trying to do 2 more panels this month because I'll be gone for 2 weeks in August. I got a lot to plan. But thank you for having me on, Kate. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Well, if you need somebody to invite on, I couldn't recommend Astrid anymore. Thank you so much for popping on here, Astrid. Where can the good people find you, and what are you up to? You just had a feature at Body Slam come out, I believe, right?
Yeah. Thank you for having me here right at first. But yeah, I just had a piece on Body Slam that just got published today. Just going back and reflecting on Backlash, being that I'm Puerto Rican, so it was a nice reflection on my culture there, for that piece. But aside from that, I have a lot of things on my YouTube channel, which is like my name, Astrid Pizarro. You can find me on Tuesdays. I do a post show with my good friend Ed about NXT. And usually on Fridays, I do have a podcast with my good friend Melco, Ladies Wrestling Showcase. We highlight women's wrestling in a way, shape, or form that we can. And on Sundays, I do have my NXT review that goes out on Women's Wrestling Talk as well. But if anything, you can find me on my Twitter, which is Astrid Pizarro. And I'm on Blue Sky as well, same thing. And then on Threads, that's Astrid Pizarro 20. Anything that I have going out, I'll post it there. It's great to do this, especially on my Wrestling Media Anniversary month in July. So it's pretty cool.
Kate, you're muted.
Did Kate's internet crap out right at the end of the stream?
Oh,
I know. I see her moving.
Yeah, I see her moving.
She's just muted.
Yeah.
Or can she?
Well, Greg, why don't you go ahead and plug your stuff?
Greg, go ahead.
Greg.
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and plug it. You can check me out every Wednesday evening at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, right before AEW Dynamite. I do a little variety show called The Greg Cherry Show. We talk wrestling, we talk sports, we talk pretty much anything you want to talk about. I do a bunch of crazy stuff for donations. I do wrestler entrances. I do karaoke. I do exercise, which may or may not be the extent of exercise that I do in my life. But go check that out. I also have a Quizlemania-esque show called Jack of All Trades that I'm looking to bring back sooner rather than later. So go check all that out. Go check me out on all the socials at Greg Cherry Brand.
Caden?
You guys can find me on my Twitter at Kaden, KADEN_FTW. And you can find me on YouTube, All Honor. It's my new, I've had it for a little bit, but I'm really starting to kind of kick some stuff up over there and kind of going all in. So just stay tuned. And then also on my Twitter, you'll be able to find when I actually decide to write things, which I'm working on a piece right now on the vibe difference between Dynamite and Collision. You'll be able to find that there. I'll post the link.
Nice. And you can find me on Twitter at BR_Doctor or on Blue Sky at my name. All my work is on Bleacher Report right now, where I will also be covering Collision tonight. And I have an interview scheduled for Monday with somebody in AEW that I think people will want to hear from. But I'm not going to say who it is yet because I don't want to jinx it.
Wow, I definitely had my internet crap out right as everybody was plugging their stuff, but thank you for keeping the train going. And just classic Doc leaving us with a cliffhanger. But thank you guys so much for watching. Enjoy Collision. Enjoy Samoa Joe versus CM Punk. tonight you have a little bit more context for it than you did an hour ago. So thank you so much for watching. You can find me at Miss Kate Fabe on Twitter, and I will let you read all my insane schedule there. I'm always here. I'm always at the Mark Order podcast. I'm always all around Fightful. But most importantly, if you could subscribe to this channel, that would be so awesome of you. We're trying to get those subscriptions boosted. And please leave a thumbs up on this video on your way out. Absolutely enjoy the heck out of wrestling this weekend. We encourage you to do so as always. Thank you so much. We're out of here.